Hi. In this video I'm going to compare these four synths that are my candidates usually for a live set, for a small secondary play along synth that provides some tops, sometimes basses. These are four very different synths, but I'm still comparing them because they are both all analog and they are the same size. They are very easy to bring as an extra with myself and can be used for additional voices, and these synths are usually the synths that I play with and do improvisation with the tone. So although they are same size and all of them are analog, they're very different, especially in the price range. Sirin is the limited edition mini-tower with the extended range of octaves is already over €1,000, while this Volca keys is about $100. So it's not a fair competition, not even a competition, not a fair comparison. But still, these synths are for the same purpose for me. Also, these two are polysynths, these two are monosynths. I'm not going to go into the depth of these synths because there are plenty of videos you can watch to learn Sirin, Tetra, Typhon or the Volca keys, but comparing each other to each other in this scenario, in the live scenario, is the goal here. So I'm going to start with the same top melody and bass line in each of them, and I'm going to basically talk through what I enjoy with these synths and what I don't like, and at the end I'm going to tell which I'm probably going to take next time. So starting with the Sirin, again 7-octave version of the mini-tower. Let's try without reverb first. So this is a very predictable synth. You have the classic Moog sound, which either you like or not. I personally am a big fan of these. I have a couple of Moogs, and I really like that this is a built like tank, sturdy and reliable synth that you can use. It has, I don't know, like 100 patch memory or something, and I would say most of the features are on the board, although memorizing all the shortcuts and combinations is not very easy for me. So why do I like this one? It is, as I mentioned, a great sound. A lot of knobs, but honestly it's the most boring synth ever. It's a classic subtractive monosynth with classic features of two envelopes, great filter section. You have an LFO, and you can pick the two oscillator that you can combine. You can pick if it's a sawtooth or square. I mean, you can bring out a lot of things from it. But for me, it's still not the most fun thing just to use this common knob. So this wins by far on the sound. You can hear this has this classic fat sound that you cannot really get out from all the synths that you use. Interesting. As I took this with myself once, and not ever since, but this is fun. What I don't like is that you don't see, without the machine, with the computer, you don't see which patch you have. You can switch around with between the patches, but not much you can see from the patch. And you know, all these knobs are snapping after or catching up after you pass through the parameter, so it's not really clear what you're going to edit. But again, great sound, a lot of knobs, and you can save a lot of patches. And if you're using something like the Digitect, you could, each of your pattern could link to a different patch. Now let's jump to the Tetra. So Tetra is also an amazing synth with an amazing sound, and it should be, right? So it is as far as I know, this has the core of the Prophet 8. It has tons of built-in patches that you can use, and you can create your own patches. It has 4 voices or 4 different patches that you can use in parallel. Basically, I originally bought it as my main synth because it has 4 voices. So in this form factor, not many synths can give you this flexibility. And the reason why I bought Analog 4 after that, because I couldn't get used to this UI. This is not for hardware only editing and management of the patch. So if you should Google the software it has. You have endless possibilities, and the sound is really amazing. So it's Dave Smith synth. It has a DCO, so it's digitally controlled oscillator. Still analog, but the frequency is kept super precise digitally. So you can even hear the tone that is so perfect. Now, I never ever took it with myself. I know people who use it in live, but they use it with Ableton, so they use it for the sound, and probably they put together everything in the studio. I like to tweak a little live, and it's simply not for me. It is not. It's not tactile enough for a live setup. It's small, and if you have this and you really need space, and you are very good in setting up your patches at home, you get 4 voices that you can use separately, which is amazing. If you can get one, because it's of course not being manufactured anymore. So the next one is Dreadbox Typhon. Again, you can find many things about it in other YouTube channels and other YouTube videos, but I think many videos point out one thing I really enjoy in this one, and the thing that you have a continuous dial for the waveform that can give you a very smooth transition in the tone. Why is it important? Because if you're clicking from in discrete states, if you wanna tune the sound live, you're going to introduce sudden change in the tone, which is not really good. In many cases, it can cause trouble. But this gives you even a performance tool to make your sound more exciting, and just by itself, this is an amazing tool. It's again traditional monosynth, analog monosynth. You have filter, you have some envelope here, not even one-to-one control knobs count for the envelope, so you have to select which envelope you are using. But it has This one, from all this for you need this and the vocal keys has some effect. Vocal keys one single effect. This is a whole bunch of effect that you can find. You can demo in the patches. I can. So you hear you have a lot of digital effect. But honestly, I'm not really a big fan of half of them. I would say these are really useful because you would probably take a reverb guitar pedal with you just to give some space, which you also have in this preset. You hear? But it also has a lot of insert effect, like chorus in this case. And I honestly don't like the insert effects. So chorus, especially the distortion, for me, it's good quality. It's amazing. I think a lot of people love this unit because of the effects section. But simply, it makes this for me a more artificial sound source than the other analog synths, because it sounds like you're in Ableton and you're just applying endless plugins, and you know it has a different impression, which you might like or not like, but it's half of the effects are not for my taste. So for me to use this, I need to be very careful turning off some of the effects, not even using them, but using this with the built-in reverb it can be an amazing sound source. So you can hear that. And you know, it's a very good bass as well. So you hear it also has some stereo effect on it. But it's a pretty decent bass. Let's remove the effects. Refraction. So I think this is the dry. We have to be very careful here because it jumps really fast, but otherwise you can mutate your bass with this knob I mentioned earlier. And then we can bring back the effects if you want. This is studio grade. You could use it even in the studio, and I really enjoy this. But I don't know why the insert effect for me makes it too digital and just takes away the analog girth. I really like it. I took it. I think this already twice with me, and I'm still going to take it with myself. It has a big memory for patches. A lot of knobs that you can use. It's a great combination of everything. I cannot complain about this, apart from my picky nature on the digital effects. So the final contestant would be this small Volca. You probably know Volcas. I think Volca key and the new bass that I also like to take with to live is those are two amazing synths, and especially for the price you get a lot of bang for the buck. Now why Volca keys here? Because this doesn't have a patch memory. Everything you see, everything you dial what you're going to hear. It never changes, and this gives a little more predictability than if just patches were loading and you're trying to find the right place of the knobs to alter them and just suddenly it started changing. That's one thing. And the other thing that you have that two things from Minilogue. If you had Minilogue, you're familiar with the way how you can use the voices. This is a polysynth, 3-voice polysynth. So you have multiple ways to use voices. You can use it as a polysynth, or you can say you're going to use it as a mono anyway. So you can use unison, octave, fifth, ring, and polyring. And each is a different sound, a little trancy, but you can use it in many different ways. And the other thing that you get here, what you have in the Minilogue, and it's not like it's cool for this, not for Minilogue, because the Minilogue, the first original Minilogue, had a very low quality but usable effect. It has a small memory, so the sampling rate is not great. But this is a cool delay that you have here, that you can tune the time manually, and after that you get the groove actually that you can use. You have an on-hand control on the groove, and I know you have an on-hand control on the FX here, but you're always going to need to jump through the FX section. It's a little bit menu diving. You probably don't see on the camera when you need to select the tabs there. Here everything fixed, it's there, so you can play with this. And it says oh, and of course you have an LFO, and it has a exciting sound because of the polysynth, which I would say with this level of control only this synth has, because only this one is a polysynth, and this using the multiple voices gives something that only the polys can do, and only this one can give you this control. And with the reverb, and of course the reverb pedal and the delay that you have here, okay, so the oscillators is a single shape waveform. I mean, yeah, I think the waveform is only for the LFO, but the possibility to switch around and try little different voices, if you have the capability to preview it, it's great. It's great to come up with different sounds. So let's go and check the bass. So it's still the same. You're hearing the same patch because there is no memory here. So I only the notes are coming in a lower octave. But so let move the feedback. So for bass, it's not the best. I would say this is the worst for bass. Although you cannot get these trancy sounds out of others. This is really raw. But again, giving groove to it with the feedback, with the tip of your fingers, without many driving, reliable. It's exciting, and it's hard. Maybe the video doesn't give it back, but it's very exciting to play around with this and all these parameters that you know always there. You know, when you're playing live it's dark, don't really have time to find everything. It's very stressful to change pages, and it's very stressful that you don't know when a parameter knob is going to change. So with all these, when you patch loads, you know, it won't do anything until you get the knob value to the state which the patch was in. So with this you don't have that, and that's something I really like from this. And that's basically summarizes my comparison. And honestly, I use the two simpler, I would say cheaper model in live because I enjoy them more. I love the capability of this one. It's amazing. I cannot use it live. It's very hard to get anything out enjoyable from it. If I just want to play a track, it would be great, but that's not what I like to do. And I like the Sirin, but Sirin is like winning with the raw sound quality. And honestly, after that, nothing really sparks for me there. These two is very different. These are very different, but they are both amazing. This has a very tactile experience. You can play around, and this is a small studio synth that you can bring with yourself with great effects. And if you prepare a little, you can use it in a lot of different scenarios. And what you can get after that in the live scenario, that you can play around and really morph these and adjust the sound to follow your groove. Yeah, that's a summary. You're probably going to see these live later again. If you have any question or you have other synths that you would recommend in this scenario, then please leave a comment and take care. Bye.